Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. That's two right here. We're going to hear from the Golden Jit, Jericho and Kenny Omega. This here on Kenny Omega now on YouTube. We'll see what's going on down. Plus, see, MJF. Looking to get the world title back. Where he defended the world championship. Defending Daniel Garcia. Coming up. A lot going on. Not gonna be AEW around right now. We'll talk about that coming up. And in other news, WWE has revealed that WrestleMania 40 schedule. You won't believe that. All this and more on the Pro Wrestling Show. AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Let's start right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Dick. Glad you joined us here on the AEW Dynamite Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Don't forget, please subscribe. Subscribe to your friends. Don't friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. So we got a lot to get to. Join in that conversation. So, you see right here, AEW Champion MJF looking to get that big belt back, but he has to defend it. He knows that Jay White has the belt. So, MJF is just ready to go to defend his world championship. And Shivani MJF talking about what's going on with him. Like getting the world championship belt. He's got 2024. So, you know that. Himself to get to the great war he's been talking about for quite some time. MJF now trying to realize his dream of being, I guess he wants a bidding war for his services for the coming up for the upcoming new year. What's going on? MJF, like I said, Tony Schiavone was set down. MJF was ready, even to the point that will MJF get a partner? It's the stack deck against him. Will MJF be with all this going on, defending the tag team titles, defending the world title? A lot of problems going on. MJF, as he's saying, being champion is a hard pill to swallow. Well, MJF didn't have to waste no time whatsoever. He went against Daniel Garcia in the beginning, opening the kickoff Dynamite. Daniel Garcia, a fan favorite. He likes to do that hip races, dancing hip rations or something like that. To that point. Well, MJF and both Daniel Garcia both trying to put themselves out like that. MJF feeling a little bit salty. I'll say that one bit. But because you see right here, MJF pulling himself into the mat, motivating himself, stuff like that. MJF pulling himself to the right there. Imagine Daniel Mack trying to convince Daniel Garcia that you need to do with the crowd's approval and stuff. Daniel Garcia trying his best to MJF. MJF to the point too, trying to see Daniel Garcia was gonna be a man. Daniel Garcia did in the beginning try to use some strikes, but that wasn't enough. Those strikes didn't help even up the odds. And MJF retains his world championship over Daniel Garcia, but like we said, Daniel Garcia attempting to do what the crowd wants him to do with the dancing, but I guess it wasn't going to work. MJF telling him, you're going to be a big star. He is. MJF getting to that point, that level too. So, hey, Want to know where that went down? So MJF retains the world championship. Well, speaking of that, Samoa Joe went against Keith Lee in the match of these two behemoths. Keith Lee right here, you see right here, didn't have a chance whatsoever. Got tapped out and choked out by Samoa Joe. Well, after the match, Joe decided to make his intentions known that Samoa Joe said he's going to um, retire as the Ring of Honor television champion. He's going to relinquish the Ring of Honor television belt right there. He left the belt laying in the middle of the ring. Samoa Joe saying that he has a new goal in mind. He wants to be world champion. So he's targeting MJF. He's telling MJF that he'll be your tag team partner. So MJF got a lot on his plate. MJF might as well gonna pick Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor tag team titles match. He's gonna have his odds stacked against him. Give Samoa Joe what he wants. A world championship match. And I can see Samoa Joe being world champion. I think MJF being a little bit stagnant, a little bit when it comes almost in his year reign, his 1 year reign as world champion. MJF 1 year later winning the championship from John Moxley, and 1 year later defending that championship for a full year. Well, Joe could be crawling and trying to get the championship away from MJF. MJF doesn't get himself together. I think MJF is gonna have a lot of problems, even if Samoa Joe's coming for you down the road. Samoa Joe, like I said, defeated Keith Lee to retain the Ring on the champion, the Ring on television title. But he decided that he's going to vacate the championship. That's what he did tonight. Well, speaking of that, absolute Tony Storm. Tony Storm was in the segment with Hiroshita. Tony Storm saying that she should have been the one at Wimbledon to leave to become the AEW Women's Champion. She said this is her opportunity of a lifetime to regain the Women's Championship. And I might add, Tony Storm has been a phenomenal champion in her with the Ring Honor, with the AEW Women's title over Hiroshita. It made matters on worse for Hiroshita. I don't think Hiroshita has a fight in this match because Tony Storm is getting over by her 1920s persona, and Tony Storm looking forward to getting it back at Full Gear. She says it's gonna be a Hollywood premiere, and we'll see it at Full Gear. Well, I told you this. Swerve Strickland has been playing a lot of mind games with Heyman Adam Page. Swerve getting his comeuppance by Heyman Page. Heyman Page decided to take matters out of Swerve's hands and nail Swerve. Swerve and Heyman Adam Page. These two men don't like each other. Swerve looking something to prove over Heyman Adam Page. Believes that Heyman Adam Page ain't nothing but a flash in the pan. But Heyman Adam Page wants to prove to Swerve that he wants to take out Swerve after what Swerve did last week and came into the man's house and with his baby. Swerve is a loose cannon ready to pop out. Not Swerve, but Heyman Page. He wants to take it matters on his own hand. And could he do that with Swerve? That's the question that everyone wants to know. But we just have to wait and see how that's gonna go. But these two men will meet at Full Gear. You can tell this personal after Swerve had crossed the line, went to the man's house and did what he did. But speaking of Heyman Page's friends, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega have their own issue with Chris Jericho. Jim Cornette made a good point that since all of them except Jericho, maybe he thinks about Jericho too, all scumbags and pricks. Maybe they need to play after their characters and what they do in real life, but they're not going to do that. They're trying to say there's a lot of tension going on with the Bucks, Omega, and Jericho. Jericho trying to put a wedge between the Bucks. I can see that, but at the same time, I don't see it like that. I think they just want to do something relevant. I heard Brian Lance made a good point. What happened to the tag team title opportunity with FTR? They're gonna decide that didn't happen. You know how they go. But this is gonna be really interesting. I can see this being a tag team match between Jericho and Omega taking on the Young Bucks. Maybe the winner gets a championship tag team title match. The Young Bucks keep their tag team titles intact. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, we saw this. Julia Hart made her return. Julia Hart targeting Chris Stanley, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Julia Hart didn't make no bones about it that she wants to be the TBS Women's Champion. The only way she can do so is to go after Sky Blue, Willow, and everybody else. Speaking of that, Julia was in action against Red Velvet, and Julia lost. Julia won against Red Velvet. Red Velvet coming back, her famous ride with Jade and stuff. You know how that went down and stuff. That went down. But, Julia Hart could be next in line for the AEW TBS Women's Championship. We could see that. We'll see that coming up eventually. How that's gonna go. You can tell Julia Hart looking towards what she's gonna go through. Well, we get to it. We know that next week on Dynamite right here, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and Paul White takes on the Don Callis family. He ain't putting no who's gonna be in the Don Callis family, but we'll see it next week. Don Callis family next week. Oh hey, we'll see. They've been traveling throughout San Francisco area. We'll see how it's gonna go. Speaking of that, what's the main event? The main event was Jay White taking on Mark Briscoe. We will show you right quick Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. And we forgot to make mention that the Gun Boys put a declaration that they're going for the AEW Ring of Honor tag team titles as well. So we'll see that. But Mark Briscoe went against Jay White in a phenomenal match, and a match that happened in between how that went down for both men. Jay White won against Mark Briscoe, but speaking of somebody that wanted to come down and get a piece of Jay White, MJF came down there with got his dynamite ring and nailed all three of them. He wanted to get his hands on Jay White. Jay White got away before the last minute. But then something also appeared on here on MJF and got his attention. These masked men came out there and attacked MJF's friends, the Acclaim and Mr. Badass Billy Gunn. These men with some dark suit, they look like the Undertaker's druids or something. Came out there, the druids came out there and attacked the Acclaim, nailing the Acclaim. Who the hell this could be? We doesn't know who. Then they threw the Acclaim, threw Bowens into a steel glass. I don't know why they did that, but it was devastating to see MJF try to come out there, try to see what was going on, try to be the aid for his friends, and the damage was done. The Acclaim, all of them been taken out by these masked men. Just don't know who could it be, and what do they know about what's going on with MJF, and how all this is coming back full circle around. A lot of people are speculating could it be CM Punk, but I don't know. A lot going on, but we'll just have to wait and see. But Samoa Joe came up to MJF and asked MJF, "Do you still need me?" And Samoa Joe, one badass kick-ass machine, you know how that go. But MJF got a lot of problems on his hands. He got tag team titles to defend, the world title to defend, and then this mask stuff person coming out of nowhere playing mind games. So MJF gonna have to refocus on AEW and see who is doing what to him and who is doing the number job to the current world champ. All right, that is the AEW Dynamite Ring report. We're gonna move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we're gonna talk about this. WWE revealed that they're gonna be having their WrestleMania week. We told you yesterday on the Pro Wrestling Show that NXT will be joining CW sometime later this fall, but WWE now for WrestleMania 40. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and live a lot of pay-per-views and stuff being added for WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame as well. So there's a lot going on with that. Also, too, Mariah May, I have heard of her a little bit. She's joining AEW. She was a women's champion Stardom. Brings her talent to AEW. She was in a segment with RJ City tonight about what was going on with RJ City, about her debuting, talking about she wanted to be around Tony Storm and get to be a Tony Storm president. Tony Storm is way too busy on things that she's got going on in the women's division. I think Tony Storm made it known tonight what's going on with her. So we'll see how this is going to go for her. Speaking of that, TNA right here. TNA having t-shirts. They're back. Hard to kill. You're right about that. They are too hard to kill, but they got t-shirts. So we'll see what TNA is going to bring after NWA was going to be dealing with CW. Now that's deal with TNA kind of creep up and trying to beat number 3. I think they are number 3 in my book. NWA and MLW got quite a lot going on. So hey. Speaking of that, WWE Hall of Famer and AEW commentator Jim Ross made an appearance on his podcast saying that he will be temporarily off of AEW TV for now. He said his contract is still up and available negotiation. So Jim Ross might not be in the AEW right now. He's still in AEW, but he wants to take a heel off of his leg for the cancer, his skin cancer. So Jim Ross we want to wish Jim Ross the best of luck. Best what's going on with him. We recover. Speaking of that, Ethan Page made an announcement that he's bringing some of his promotion back. So Ethan Page bringing his promotion back on this and stuff. So we'll see. Ethan Page could be a future AEW champion, I believe. One day he has the look. I always thought like when he was wrestling Impact, he gotta lose some weight. Now he's cutting down shape, losing weight, being more trim, being more ripped in peak condition. So you never know. We'll see. All right. So they're gonna end wrestling hot topics. We're gonna end the AEW Dynamite Ring Report with MJF wondering and figuring out who is this masked man, who is this devil that's coming around near him. Well, thank you for watching the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. I'll see you this Friday for the SmackDown Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon. So long. See you.